Hey up, Internet, and welcome to On the Sofa Live. With me this week is my old partner in crime, Niece. Are you me? Oh,
yeah, crime, chaos, whatever you want to call it. I picked my tagline very carefully.
Yeah, brilliant. Why don't you tell people a bit about yourself?
So, for anybody that doesn't remember, I used to co-host the previous iteration of On the Sofa many years ago. My uncle was the late great Cy Strike, and I used to work in hotels and film skits about it. There's really not. I'm a very boring person now with two kids, and I'm a recovering addict, and now I'm just a struggling salon receptionist. Life sucks and then you die. Make the most of it.
Okay, fair enough. So, the first story that I want us to talk about is something that has been I keep seeing it appear on my For You page or the I keep seeing it on Instagram Reels. I don't know if you've seen
Instagram
this.
and you haven't followed me yet? I'm
Oh,
offended.
I'll have to look you up after this, but I didn't know you were on there.
Oh, I
But
am.
let's have a look. This, hang on. Okay. Oh,
Having a little technical difficulties.
yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, okay, the first thing I want to talk about are photos of Bill Clinton with Stephen Hawking in a princess costume that has gone viral. And it sparked a lot of
Oh, I saw those.
controversy. There's
I
been a
saw
huge
those.
debate. There's been a huge debate as to whether these photos are real or not.
Mm.
So here we have the article from Snopes. Photos of Bill Clinton with Stephen Hawking in princess costume aren't real. We have the proof.
Snopes is pretty reputable for being able to myth bust effectively. So let's see what they've got to offer as evidence. Not that these aren't, no, they're still funny. They're still funny.
Yeah. When I first saw these photos, I wasn't sure. I honestly was not sure. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem these days. AI is getting better and better. There will come a time when you won't be able to tell the difference. And I know these photos are odd looking, but but that's the thing with everything that's happening in the world today. Everything that's being revealed from the Epstein files, for example.
We could get into how I feel about AI and be here all day just from that. I actually just dragged my boyfriend to a town hall meeting the other day because there's a data center in my town and they're trying to expand it. So obviously we're against it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not to mention the damage that AI does to the environment. But
Precisely.
but again, we could get into a whole nother video about that.
Right. It's funny, my boyfriend, when I told him about what they wanted to do and I told him I wanted to go to the meeting, he said, all right, so I guess we're going to go take down Skynet. He's actually I traded up this time around. So my boyfriend's actually a combat veteran. He was in the Navy from
Yeah.
2003 to 2005. And he's one of, I've actually, in my various customer facing jobs, I've encountered a lot of veterans. And I have not yet met one that was pro AI.
Okay. Cool. But it is getting better all the time. But if you look carefully at Bill Clinton's fingers, especially the thumb, it looks a bit off.
It's always the fingers.
Yeah. Same with Stephen Hawking's fingers here. Look, it looks kind of off. There seems to be a finger missing here, and the shadow is
Right.
a bit off. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the way to tell if an image is AI. Look carefully at the fingers, look at the shadowing, look at the shading.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what the article says. First, they talk about the claim. Two photos from the Epstein files authentically showed former US President Bill Clinton wearing pajamas while carrying and sitting next to the physicist Stephen Hawking, who was wearing a princess costume. Rating fake. In early March 2026, two photos archived circulated online that claimed to show former US President Bill Clinton wearing pajamas while carrying and sitting next to physicist Stephen Hawking, who was wearing a princess costume. According to some posts, the images were part of a massive Department of Justice release of more than 3 million files related to its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, the disgraced financier who died in a Manhattan prison cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges.
At least they're not saying he himself anymore. I think it's blatantly obvious that he didn't.
Yeah. I think the more I look into this, the more I'm convinced that he didn't kill himself. I think there's two. I mean, but again, there could be a whole nother video in itself. Talking about this.
I did say I wanted to do a whole special on it because see, my whole thing is just rich and powerful men are disgusting. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The article goes on. Recently resurfaced images from the Epstein files have once again drawn attention online. In the photos, former US President Bill Clinton appears posing in a room with a princess-themed setting, which many people on the internet have found unusual. The pictures have sparked debate and curiosity, with users questioning the context of the setting and Clinton's presence there. The images also circulated on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. The images of Clinton and Hawking were fakes generated by artificial intelligence. They originated with Facebook user Marc-Andre Lavoie, who shares a name with Canadian filmmaker, but is not the same person. Lavoie told Snopes via direct messages he created the images using Grok.
It's funny. My boyfriend and I were just talking about Grok.
Oh, yes.
This is insane.
Yeah.
No, like stuff like this is why I'm as against AI as I am. Never mind the way that it's used to exploit women, for lack of better terminology. I actually know people who were victims of AI deepfakes. This stuff is not a joke, and the rise of AI. The big thing that's got me concerned as far as the AI and the fake images. Eventually, I would like to hope that some people are going to be prosecuted eventually.
Eventually, hopefully,
and
yeah.
The improvement of AI means, we're really descending into Orwellian hell. The party tells us to reject the evidence of our eyes and ears, and with the rise of AI, do we really have a choice? Unless we physically saw something. So we can't rely on, where we used to think, okay, we've got a video of somebody committing a crime. There you go, slam dunk. Not anymore. It really corrupts the justice system's whole process, because as it gets harder and harder to identify AI generated imagery, whether it be photos, videos, etc., it's stuff like this is why I have little to no faith that the Epstein class is going to be held accountable for anything.
Yeah, exactly. The article goes on. Lavoie first shared the images in a Facebook group called Crazed AI in late
I
February and
think
early
I'm in
March.
that Facebook group.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm definitely in that Facebook group.
He told Snopes he initially posted the images on sites and groups clearly identified as those sharing AI generated content to make his intentions clear and avoid the spread of fake news. Despite this, the images were later shared across other social media platforms without disclaimers, stating that they were fake. Lavoie told Snopes, I find the context of my images so absurd that I did not expect anyone to believe they were real. But that's the thing. That's that. A lot of absurd stuff is happening in the world these days.
It's only, it's funny. 6 years ago, tomorrow, they say is going to have been the last really normal day we ever had. I don't think that's necessarily the case. We've been on a downhill slope since they shot Harambe. You see, you
Right?
laugh, but I'm serious.
Mm.
There's two potential events that we can identify as the catalyst. One is the shooting of Harambe, the other is the death of David Bowie.
I knew you were going to say that. I
Well,
knew you were
I
going to
might
say
be
that
an
somehow.
American if I don't.
Well, exactly. But that's the thing. That's what under normal circumstances, I would have thought that these photos were fake right from the word go. But these are not normal circumstances. Who knows what
I don't
crazy
even think
stuff went
normal
on that island?
circumstances. It's scary to me because, this time 5 years ago, we would have been calling people crazy for coming out with some of the things that have come out. We would have thought it was all, conspiracy nonsense. We would have
Yeah.
assigned tinfoil hats to people. My uncle would have been giving people the tinfoil hat award. But I have a lot of questions about what's real and what's not now.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I was still a born again Christian, I'd be preaching that we were in the end times.
Yeah, really.
But okay, I mean, the times we're in do kind of feel apocalyptic.
I feel like an apocalypse might be what we need at this point in time. I think it's time to just, it's over in my neck of the woods. There is so much talk of, but the system will collapse if we arrest everybody. Okay, then I guess
Yeah,
what we need is a total societal collapse. We have to rebuild
yeah,
from the
exactly.
ground up.
Yeah,
If a system is going to collapse because the people in power are being held accountable for unspeakable crimes, then that system deserves to burn.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, again, empires have risen and empires have fallen over the centuries.
Precisely. They say that at this point the US government can be considered to have fallen. I mean, the DOJ actively ignores court orders. Congress is sitting with their thumbs in their asses. And Trump is just doing whatever he wants with no accountability for flagrant constitutional violations. Only Congress has the power to declare war. And yet, here we are.
Mm.
And this is the second time now that's happened because the the Iraq war, I believe, was technically not declared by Congress. So this is where I have a problem. Like, people love to think that there are people who have preconceived notions in their heads about farther left leaning people, that
Mm.
we support unspeakable horrors, that are committed by foreign regimes, and I, for one, certainly don't. My motto these days is two things can be true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two or more at this point, because there's so much going on at once. But I do think we are being info dumped into exhaustion as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, anyway, moving on to the next segment, I think. We've just about covered that one. Let's see what's up next. I'm still a bit rusty at doing this.
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
Just share the screen, but I know I've got the hang of it, I think.
I was going to say, I taught myself how to remove paywalls.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you go on Google Chrome and you right click a page and you hit inspect and you go into the settings on that and you disable JavaScript, it should get rid of the paywall.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just another fun factoid for you.
Cool. Okay, so next story, Elon Musk's Tesla has been given the go-ahead to supply electricity to Great Britain. This is from The Guardian.
Yeah, we're over here. We're over him over here. You can have him. He's your problem now.
This is an article by Lauren Almeida, from The Guardian, as I said. And the headline reads, Elon Musk's Tesla given go-ahead to supply electricity in Great Britain. Off-gem license means firm can replicate Texas setup of powering homes, businesses, and EVs. He really does want the monopoly on everything, doesn't he?
He certainly aspires to, and there's a word for that. Are we ready for today's vocabulary word, kids? Megalomania. Megalomania.
Thank you. I consider myself educated. But yeah, he wants to have the monopoly on just about everything. The article goes on. Elon Musk's Tesla has won approval to supply electricity to households and businesses across Great Britain as the tech billionaire, trillionaire now, according to him anyway.
Yeah, but can we really believe a word out of his mouth?
Well, there is that. But even if he's not a trillionaire now, I think he is on course to become the first trillionaire.
I think Jeff Bezos became a trillionaire briefly.
Did he? Oh, okay.
I think he may have. I don't remember for sure.
Okay. As the tech billionaire expands his energy ambitions, the energy regulator Ofgem has formally granted Tesla an electricity supply license, enabling it to provide electricity to domestic and business premises in England, Scotland, and Wales. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand their motive for doing this. Energy needs to be brought back into public hands. It needs to be.
Absolutely. There's so much that has been privatized that should never have been. Example number one, healthcare.
Well, yes, exactly. I blame Margaret Thatcher for this. I think all this privatizing started with her.
Well, we've got Reagan to thank over here.
Well, yeah, exactly. It all started with Thatcher and Reagan, and continued with with Blair and Clinton and Bush, etc., and we're still paying the price today.
He who must not be named.
Well, yes, exactly.
One of my greatest regrets in life is that I never did get around to purchasing a bottle of alcohol specifically for a Thursday afternoon to take a shot every time you said Boris Johnson. I'd have been dead of
Yeah.
alcohol poisoning in an hour.
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's it. Maybe that's a good thing then. Maybe it's just as
Well,
well that you
yeah, I
did.
don't drink anymore either. I don't drink anymore either.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I just smoke copious amounts of marijuana.
Fair enough. Uh, the article goes on. The company is expected to replicate its supply in Texas,
Of course, it's Texas.
where it is branded as Tesla Electric, and offers to help customers power your home, electric vehicle, and community with low-cost, sustainable electricity. Yeah, right. However,
Yeah, we have a
Tesla.
Tesla lot behind the IHOP near my house. It's the
All
most
right.
useless erection. Oh, that was not. Oh, I think I may have sent my boyfriend the link to this, and I think he probably heard me say that. And if he did, I'm going to be subject to so many boner jokes later.
You just know that's going to get clipped.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If only Trump's father had had a useless erection.
Yeah.
There you go.
But this is interesting where it's saying that Tesla can't offer a dual fuel contract. So they have to have another company for gas.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes. It says here, however, Tesla's electricity license means it cannot offer a dual fuel contract to households. It could supply a customer's electricity if they had a separate tariff agreement for their gas supply, which of course would be a lot more expensive for your average household.
Every time I hear the word tariff, I just want to scream. After everything we've gone through economically over here, gas prices have jumped just within the last 3 days.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, the company already operates a virtual power plant that allows Tesla owners to charge their cars cheaply and then pays them for selling electricity stored in its Powerwall home batteries back to the grid. In Britain, the virtual power plant for Powerwall owners is offered through Octopus Energy, another household energy supplier. Tesla does not report how many Powerwalls it has sold to Britain, but it has sold more than 250,000 electric vehicles. The car maker's sales have slumped in the UK and much of mainland Europe in the past year amid tougher competition in the electric car market and controversy around Musk's policies. Yeah,
Well,
go
and let's
fast,
not get
go,
into the Cybertruck.
yeah,
Damn
go
thing is the
fast,
bane of my existence.
yeah, go fash, lose cash. Just saying.
Oh my
Just
God, the
putting that
number
out
of
there.
times I've flipped out on my boyfriend, don't use your card at the gas pump.
So we'll see how this pans out.
Yeah, I don't see it ending well, truly.
Because everything Musk touches turns to shit. Let's face it.
That's an insult to shit. At least shit serves a purpose.
True.
At least shit can be used as fertilizer. Except for the shit that my neighbors refuse to pick up after their dogs. I've really become an old person. I live with my boyfriend and his parents and our baby in a townhouse in an HOA. And, you know, I've started like complaining about the homeowners association, and I my boyfriend has gone off on multiple people about cleaning up after their dogs. It's it's insane. But seriously, saying, and I would say anything Elon Musk touches, I don't even know what it would turn to.
Dust. So yeah,
It's
well,
horrifying.
we'll see. We'll see. Watch this space. But I think it's going to be very expensive for the consumer.
It's going to be expensive and it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. Which is why I say energy should be brought back into public ownership. The
You
sooner
would
the
think.
better.
Now,
But
the over privatizing of life sustaining technology and, resources, it's just one of many things wrong with our world today.
yeah, exactly. Moving on. Right. Okay, so we're, we were talking about the Epstein files earlier, and we have
Hmm.
our own Epstein files scandal here in the UK.
You've got a couple from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, but this one centers around Peter Mandelson, who was the ambassador to the United States, appointed by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and and so MPs put pressure on him to release the files um, that that detailed, who knew what when, and
Well, at least it's seeming like Starmer did release the files. Bondi is just acting like a jackass about them.
yeah, well, yes, exactly. This is and this is from BBC News. The headline reads: a weirdly rushed appointment and other key takeaways from Mandelson files, by Joshua Nevitt, political reporter. Government documents running into 147 pages have revealed new details about the appointment of Lord Mandelson as the UK's ambassador to the US and the fallout from his sacking last year. It's the first release of files related to the process to hire and later fire Lord Mandelson after MPs forced the government to disclose the files. Lord Mandelson was sacked as ambassador last year after revelations emerged about his friendship with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The peer is under criminal investigation over allegations of misconduct in public office and has repeatedly let it be known that he believes he has not acted criminally, did not act for personal gain, and is cooperating with the police.
And Bill Clinton did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Exactly. The thing is, even before the Epstein files were released, even before these recent revelations about Mandelson's dealings with Epstein, we knew that he had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. We knew they were close friends. There were already photos of him and Epstein together. There's that famous photo of him celebrating Epstein's birthday, about to enjoy a birthday cake.
I don't remember if I've seen that picture. I probably have.
I mean, that photo went nuclear, I seem to remember. So we all knew about this. For Starmer to try to claim that he didn't know that he had a relationship with Epstein before he appointed him is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
It really brings Pulp Fiction to mind. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Keir.
Yes, exactly. So here are the key details from the first batch of documents. Keir Starmer was warned of reputational risks. The documents show that Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer was advised that Lord Mandelson's relationship with Epstein posed a general reputational risk ahead of his confirmation as US ambassador. In an advisory note sent to the Prime Minister on the 11th of December 2024, 9 days before he was confirmed as ambassador, other reputational risks flagged to the Prime Minister included Lord Mandelson's previous sackings from government. The note also says Lord Mandelson was seen as an advocate for closer UK-China relations. Sir Keir was told that the JP Morgan Bank commissioned a report in 2009 that found Lord Mandelson had maintained a particularly close relationship with Epstein after the financer's conviction for soliciting prostitution with a minor. The Prime Minister has maintained he did not know the extent and depth of Lord Mandelson's relationship with Epstein when he appointed him. But given what this advisory note says, the Prime Minister is likely to face questions about his judgment.
Do you think he's going to be pressured to resign over this?
Yes. I think this could and should be the end of his political career. He should certainly resign. But I don't.
There's no way he didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way he didn't know.
Which then leads to questions about, if he knew, was he complicit, or was there, is there more to this?
Well, yeah, exactly. He knew. I think it's clear from these documents that he knew. I mean, it was common knowledge that Mandelson has been fired twice before from public office. I can't remember off the top of my head.
You would think that would be the end of it.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But
yeah, but you know what? Common sense is a misnomer. How many times have I said that?
Well, exactly. And I mean, it was common knowledge that he had the nickname the Prince of Darkness, for crying out loud. You don't hire the Prince of Darkness.
I'm sorry. Did you just call him the Prince of Darkness?
Yeah.
How dare you insult Ozzy Osbourne in that manner? As a metalhead, I am deeply offended, and he would be as well.
I'm sure he would be.
Don't take the name of Ozzy Osbourne in vain ever again.
The next takeaway is no suggestion Mandelson was an issue in Trump's White House. British ambassadors are usually career diplomats, but in a departure from the norm, Lord Mandelson was a politician and businessman when he was appointed to the top diplomatic role in Washington. At the time he was hired, Sir Keir said Lord Mandelson would bring unrivaled experience to the role and was seen as a savvy political operator, someone who could strengthen the government's relations with President Donald Trump's White House. One email from the documents suggests Karen Pierce, the UK's former ambassador to the US, had provided a report of her call with Mike Waltz, Trump's national security advisor at the time. Following this, there was no suggestion that Peter's nomination was an issue in the Trump PC, the email says. The government told the BBC PC in this context meant press conference, although it's unclear which Trump press conference the email was referring to.
Well, yes, considering he has them constantly.
Yeah. Trump had a well-documented relationship with Epstein, but has constantly denied any wrongdoing in relation to the disgraced financier and has said he did not know about his crimes.
Bullshit. I'm over here trying not to yell that because I'm in a library. But seriously, do you know how annoying it is to go on my little Facebook group and the MAGAs saying the most nonsensical things? You know, I've grown as a person. I don't engage. Although I did call somebody out for trying to pimp out his dog for puppies.
Right.
This is, but at least I have to give the UK government credit. At least they're doing something about Mandelson. Trump continues to sit in the Oval Office. You would think they'd at least, you know, even as much as I would rather he be, I mean, I think at this point the dementia symptoms are bad enough that it warrants 25th Amendment.
Oh, yeah.
But I would think in light of what's coming out in the files, the fact that he was mentioned millions of times, just and counting, because Bondi is still illegally withholding a lot. You would think they would at least have him step down temporarily and have JD the couch fucker take over for a while. The fact that he continues to sit at that desk in that office when this much has come out. Yeah, this is, even if the DOJ wasn't corrupt, the policy of not indicting sitting presidents is not one I agree with.
Yeah.
But the thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to crimes committed that were documented in the files is statutes of limitations. People think if somebody wasn't prosecuted, they're innocent. No, that's not always the case.
Well, yeah, exactly. I won't read the whole article. I just want to read this section here. Senior advisor thought appointment was weirdly rushed. Elsewhere in the document,
we have a lot of that here.
Yeah. Elsewhere in the documents, the Prime Minister's National Security Advisor, Jonathan Powell, said he found the appointment of Lord Mandelson weirdly rushed. Powell is noted as having raised concerns about the individual and reputation to Sir Keir's former Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney. These comments were included in a fact-finding call between Powell and the Prime Minister's lawyer, Mike Otheimer, the day after Lord Mandelson's sacking on September the 11th, 2025. Powell worked extensively alongside Lord Mandelson, primarily as Chief of Staff to the Prime Minister during Tony Blair's premiership from 1997 to 2007. He is now a powerful advisor to Keir Starmer, and his opinion would have carried some weight in government if he had expressed those views during the appointment process. There is no suggestion of wrongdoing by Lord Mandelson.
Yeah, I mean, I can't bring myself to dig too far into the files because it just makes me want to cry and go hug my kids. But I mean, I knew that Mandelson was arrested, but I'm not seeing too much about the details of his potential involvement with Epstein. You know, they had a relationship, but I mean, in the end, the truth is all these people will hopefully become self-evident, regardless of whether or not they're able to be criminally prosecuted for whatever reason. I'd like to think that perhaps, maybe on this side of the pond, anyway, we'll have enough exercise our constitutional right to overthrow the government and feed these people to the wood chipper.
In Minecraft.
Minecraft.
And I want to share this apology from Keir Starmer as well. And I was, Yes. So here is Keir Starmer's apology.
Oh, this I gotta see.
Let me start where I must start, which is to accept, as I do, that I made a mistake in appointing Peter Mandelson. And let me follow that up swiftly, as I've done before, but I need to do it again, with an apology to the victims of Epstein for appointing Peter Mandelson. It was my mistake, and I take responsibility in relation to it. The release of the information shows what was known. That led to further questions being asked. Unfortunately, because of the Metropolitan Police investigation, we can't release that information yet. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it was me that made the mistake, and it's me that makes the apology to the victims of Epstein, and I do that. Let me start.
What do you think of that apology?
It's
so-called.
It's more than we're seeing from the elected officials here. I don't know whether I can't really comment on whether I think it's sincere. I'd like to think it is, considering the actions of the UK justice system with regards to named perpetrators in the Epstein files compared to over here. But well, we have a long and complicated relationship with Mr. Starmer now, don't we?
Yeah, but
the Labour Party truly is the UK equivalent of the Democratic Party. They claim to be the more liberal side of the fence, but it's all neo-corporate bullshit.
Yeah, but he always comes across as so robotic, so nasally, so boring, so monotone.
Right, and that's not what people need right now. They need somebody who can, show them that, they feel what we the people are feeling.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I just think some of the things I've seen the elected representatives here do are just completely outlandish. There's no taking of accountability at all. So there's definitely a sharp contrast here. The MAGA movement is doing mental gymnastics to support people who have done far worse.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. But I think time will tell whether or not he actually regrets appointing this guy or if it's all lip service. But my money's on lip service.
Yeah, mine too. I just think it just comes across as a statement that's being prepared for him by his PR team, and I doubt the sincerity of
somebody
it.
in that position of power is going to write their own stuff. Oh, come on now.
well, yes, there's that.
Perhaps he had Chat GPT write it for him.
Maybe, who knows? But it
definitely does kind of give AI vibes.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah, it certainly does. In any case, my take on this is if he's going to take full responsibility, surely he should resign. That's the logical conclusion of taking full responsibility.
I would think his first instinct would be to step down. At the very least, if there start being public calls for him to step down, he can't resist it. Trump continues to sit in office despite the fact that more and more people are like, wait a minute, you are in the files, and your AG and your FBI director lied about there being any files. Why are you still in office? There's a lot of why isn't anybody doing anything being asked around here.
Yeah.
And I feel bad there. I know a few people who, and these are good people who have good intentions, and they truly believe that the justice system will work in the favor of the common good. But it's a different justice system when you have money.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
And that's everywhere.
We can only hope that justice prevails eventually.
We can hope, certainly.
But I think Starmer's, whether he resigns now or not, I think his days are numbered.
I don't see him lasting to the end of this month.
Really, I think
I don't think the way everything's just come out so quickly, and now they've arrested Prince Andrew, they've arrested Peter Mandelson, public apologies had to be issued about Mandelson. I would maybe give Starmer to the end of the month.
No, okay, well,
I mean, I don't think he'll step down like as his first instinct, but I think he will be pressured out of office. If not by the end of the month, then maybe I wouldn't give him any longer than 90 days. That's if I was a betting person.
Well, I think he may last a bit longer because of the Iran war, and the Labour, the Labour and MPs might say, well, we can't really change the leadership.
Can't change leadership during wartime. Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Watch this space.
Yeah. The biggest effect I've seen of the war so far, just over here, has been on the gas prices that we're paying. But I do have a lot of concern because, over here, there are a lot of actions being taken to try to stop the midterm elections.
Yeah.
And I think this war could be used as an excuse. I definitely think that this is where one of the intricacies of having been in a relationship with a combat veteran who was in he served in the war on terror, and I think he was in the, I'm not going to dox him or anything, but he was stationed, he was actually like on a ship. It was a little gas station ship.
Yeah.
And the troops that enlisted during that time period have very strong feelings about certain countries in the Middle East. And this is where my two things can be true mindset comes into play. Absolutely, the Iranian regime is oppressive, and there does need to be a change in regime. And the killing of their own people for protesting, for dancing and singing in the streets, this is inexcusable. I'm not dismissing that at all. That doesn't mean I think Trump's motives for striking Iran were anything other than trying to distract from the files. Funny, he struck Iran just as it came out that the FBI had 4 interviews with a woman they found credible who accused Trump of assaulting her when she was a young teenager. This is the timing is too coincidental, and I can't ignore it. Not just as a parent of girls, no less, but as a human being. I can't ignore it at all. And I'm worried that this could be used for some malfeasance with the elections. Because, we can't have elections during a war. Well, we did have elections during a war before, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when are the midterms? November, isn't it?
Yes.
So still a long time to wait.
Election day is always the first Tuesday in November.
Okay.
And so I don't remember the date off the top of my head this year, but the midterms elections are November of this year. And, I'm already seeing, I didn't have any news articles to share on it, but there's an amendment being drafted up by some MAGA wingnut in the House of Representatives to allow Trump to have a 3rd term.
Right.
This is despite the fact that, the allegations that have come out about him. I'm not saying everybody's guilty until proven innocent, but Nobody's mentioned over a million times in that kind of set of documents unless you did something.
Yeah.
We can't always go by they weren't convicted, therefore they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I understand
Exactly.
I understand the point of innocent until proven guilty, and for court purposes, for legal purposes, sure, but the court of public opinion has a much different standard because
Yeah.
we can use common sense
Well, yeah, exactly.
where we possess it.
Mm.
Because, oh man, eventually I'm gonna have to tell you some of my property management stories, or if anybody wants to hop on over to my page and check out the shorts I posted. I've only posted the first few episodes of season 1, but I started sharing my skit series to YouTube. So season 1 is about my time in hotels.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll
Go.
remember some of the stories.
Okay, go check it out.
The U.S. Marshal raid incident.
All right.
That time I was manager on duty during a stabbing.
Mm.
I always had a story.
Yeah, just about every week. I remember.
Sometimes multiple times a week. Stupidity,
Yeah.
and when I was in property management, I would have stupidity of the day.
Mm.
Like somebody one day, I don't know how apartments work in the UK, but we have central air in apartments in the area where I was working.
Yeah.
And when your central air fails, any good maintenance team is going to bring you a portable air conditioning unit. Well, this guy had 3 of them hoarded in his apartment, unbeknownst to management. And the HVAC guy wasn't coming fast enough. So what did he
Yeah.
do, you may ask? He disassembled each one, taped 6 bags of dog crap into each one, reassembled them, and threw them out his window.
Ah, gross.
And that's one of my tamer stories.
Anyway, let's move on. The next story is about Pam Bondi. This is from Axios. An article
Yes, the movement to impeach her.
Yeah, an article by Andrew Solender. I think I've butchered that surname. Sorry.
Let me see the name. You're kind of scrolled up on it.
Oh.
God, that look on her face.
House Democrat moves to impeach Pam Bondi. And there she is, the lady in question.
Yes. And for the record, us little guys here in America don't give a shit about the Dow Jones.
No.
What do I look like? Somebody with time to decipher the stock market? My boyfriend does crypto, but...
Republican Sri Thanenda filed articles of impeachment against Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday over her handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Yeah, the thing about Bondi is she has been, first of all, she kept changing her story on them for so long. First it was they're on my desk, then it was there are no files. She couldn't pick a story, neither could Kash Patel. Fucking crazy eyes. I can't stand him either. But the fact that Congress had to, I believe it was almost unanimously, pass a law requiring that these files be released. And the way that it's been handled, she's still withholding a lot of files. The redactions, you did hear that the redactions were so badly done in Adobe Acrobat that any noob could have taken the files, downloaded them, and simply removed the black boxes.
Yeah, I heard this, yeah.
So not only that, the redactions, names of victims were being left unredacted, while names of potential criminals or actual criminals were being redacted.
Of course.
Somebody came out and said that the the files were delayed in being released because Bondi had DOJ working overtime to, I think somebody actually came right out and admitted, yeah, we're going to redact all the Republican names, but leave the Democrat names unredacted. It's blatant playing politics. And
yeah, exactly.
these are people's lives. These are kids, that babies that were hurt and killed, and she's seen all of these files.
Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of what's being held back from the publicly available DOJ database is video files.
Yeah.
Like what looks like broken PDFs. If you remove the PDF file extension, it turns out they're videos, and you can go to prison for having child porn.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's sick. So do you think anything will come of this?
It's hard to say. There is quite a bit of bipartisanship where these files are concerned. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned over the files.
Yeah.
She was very, she felt very betrayed. And, I didn't have agreeing with Marjorie Taylor Greene on my 2026 bingo card, but she's raising legitimate points.
Yeah.
Boebert, that idiot that I've had many of unkind things to say about in streams long ago, she's in support of this. There's support across the aisle. So it could lead to something potentially. But there is one potential outcome that, I don't know if I think it's likely, but Kristi Noem did get fired before she could be impeached. So, if it's possible that, I know Bondi's, I think she's been subpoenaed again, aside from the article of impeachment. And if she keeps performing like a jackass with Congress, that was why Noem got fired.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Trump could fire Bondi before she can be impeached and removed. But what he probably doesn't realize is, or maybe he does, because when he was impeached a second time over January 6th, Trump still had to appear before Congress, even though he wasn't in office by the time that hearing happened.
Yeah.
So even if he fires Bondi, he's not going to shield her from appearing before a joint session.
That's the thing, isn't it?
And having to answer for it.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to say what, if anything, will come of it. I would like to hope so, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket. I will put maybe a shell or two.
Yeah.
I've become very, very pessimistic in my advanced age.
But
I can say that. There's gray in my roots.
But the thing is, Pam Bondi may feel safe at the moment because she's.
I definitely think she does.
Because she feels protected by Donald Trump. But Donald
so
Trump is not.
Noem.
Yeah, exactly. And Donald Trump is not going to be around forever.
Not only that, he'll turn on her. He'll turn on her at the drop of a hat, just like he did with Kristi Noem. Malignant narcissists will do that. They flip off and on like a light switch.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't think she should get too comfortable. But I'm not confident that she'll be removed either. I don't like to make too many predictions on things anymore because we are living in some fucked up Matrix hellscape.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes I think to myself, perhaps that pulmonary embolism that landed me in a Philadelphia hospital actually killed me and I'm in hell.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I look at my beautiful little toddler, who screams at me if I don't do squats with her when she wants me to, and it's like, okay, so I'm not in hell, but what is this timeline?
Well, yeah. I think we'll leave it there. I think we've said enough about this for now. Let's see what comes of this.
Yeah, it really is a wait and see kind of situation.
Yeah.
I don't think any predictions can be made on any of it.
Exactly. I think you're right.
It's everything has to be taken one day at a time in this world that we live in now. It's become very obvious that everything we thought we knew was BS.
Yeah.
And I hate to sound nihilistic and fatalistic, but Leon Black, who was the CEO of LifeTouch, his company did my kids' school photos.
Yeah.
So, this is a little personal for me. Now, thankfully, I did not have to go to the school and raise a holy terror. Other parents did that for me because my aunt got a letter from the school and she sent me a copy of it. The school they have to finish out their contract this year to not suffer a financial penalty, but they are severing ties with the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so next segment. This is an article from the Mirror. Donald Trump's unhinged 24 hours as he casually floats the idea of genocide. Trump got shirty with even the friendliest of reporters wanted to ask about his illegal war in Iran because he was too busy intervening in a financial dispute between college athletes and universities.
That's actually
an opinion
insane
piece. To me. This is an opinion piece by Mikey Smith, deputy political editor. Last night, he got shirty with even the friendliest of reporters wanting to ask about his illegal war in Iran because he was too busy intervening in a financial dispute between college athletes and universities. He also refused to take questions on why he sacked Kristi Noem, the former Homeland Security Director, who he'd put in charge of the mass deportation program, a huge part of the wave he rode back into power last year, because he was too busy with the sport thing. Meanwhile, he has finally spoken to Keir Starmer today in Miami, launching the Shield of the Americas, a weird round table of allied leaders in Latin American countries, including Argentina's mad chainsaw guy, Javier Milei, and El Salvador's torture prison mogul, Nayib Bukele. Thank you. Trump's kind of people. But, sigh, he'll have to leave that party early to fly to Dover, Delaware, so he can
that's too close to me.
So he can watch 6 coffins be unloaded from a plane containing the bodies of US service personnel who were killed this week in Trump's war in Iran, a war that's killing Americans, sending petrol prices through the roof, and solidifying alliances between America's enemies, for the purpose of which Trump and his top team can't seem to agree.
It's funny. A journalist actually posted, I think I saw the screenshots on Instagram, and he was saying that he was part of some kind of briefing on the war in Iran. And he said, I can't share too much, but the general consensus seems to be that nobody even knows what the point is anymore. There doesn't seem to be a clear reason. The regime change is apparently not one of their motivations like they said it was. And I forget what else apparently has nothing to do with it, but it was something he said was some huge part of why he did it. But it seems like everybody's lost the plot.
Well, at first, he said that Iran had to be stopped from for making
Oh, the
nuclear weapons.
nuclear thing. Yeah.
But didn't he say a while ago, after the 7-day war in Iran, that all their nuclear capabilities have been destroyed?
So was he lying then, or is he lying now?
Well, this is it. This is the question. That's the $1 million question.
Exactly.
And it can't be about the regime change, because they just installed the Ayatollah's son to replace him.
Yeah, but
And the war's still
there's
going on.
actually reports about that. I don't know how true they are. Apparently he issued a statement, but it wasn't really him. It was like an image of him or a cardboard cutout or something. There's questions as to whether this guy is actually like in a coma with limbs amputated in a hospital and even fit to lead.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
There's a lot we don't know about what that whole conflict is actually about.
yeah, but I think Donald Trump thought that this was going to be another Venezuela. They would.
I definitely think he thought that was exactly what would happen. Because
Yeah.
Venezuela was another two things could be true, because Maduro was no saint.
Yeah.
Maduro, I mean, aside from being a tyrant, an election was held, and he not only refused to accept the results, but he went even farther than Trump did and had a whole third inauguration for himself, as if
Yeah.
he didn't lose the election. And he was just right back in office as if he hadn't been voted out. The people spoke, they didn't want him. And he refused to listen. Don't mind me, I'm trying to plug this phone in, even though my charger does not work.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to jump off, actually. I'm on 5%. But this whole situation is just, the world is on fire. That's what I'm going to leave this at. The world is on fire, and I don't know how we're going to extinguish it. I truly don't.
Yeah. But I'm not going to read the whole article, but I just want to read this part with the heading: Trump floats the idea of genocide in Iran. Just
Crazy.
casually.
You're really casual genocide.
Yeah.
What a horrific.
Trump branded Iran a loser and floated the idea of a genocide in a Truth Social post this morning. The U.S. president claimed Iran had apologized and surrendered to the Middle East neighbors it had been firing missiles into since Trump launched the first strikes last Saturday. It is the first time that Iran has ever lost in thousands of years to surrounding Middle Eastern countries, Trump wrote. Iran is no longer the bully of the Middle East. They are, instead, the loser of the Middle East, and will be for many decades until they surrender or, more likely, completely collapse. Then came the genocidal bit. Today, Iran will be hit very hard, under serious consideration for complete destruction and certain death. Because of Iran's bad behavior, are areas and groups of people that were not considered for targeting up until this moment in time.
So basically, we have kids. We've seen Shrek. It's giving Lord Farquaad. Some of you may die, but it is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Yes.
Give me a break. But yeah, I'm gonna have to hop off. I am on 4%. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. The world is on fire. What the fuck are we gonna do to extinguish it? I don't even know what can be done.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, thanks for hopping on. It's been good
no problem.
Good to have you.
I will try to have more juice in my phone next time, or at least a working charger with me.
Yeah, good call.
All right, so catch you on the other side.
Okay, see you soon. Okay. So That was Chinese, everyone. And yeah, go and I'll try and put a link to her stuff in the description, and you can check her, check her out. I think, wow, we've been live for over an hour. So moving on. Oh yes, Nigel Farage. Okay. This is hilarious. Nigel Farage fails to meet Trump after flying to Mar-a-Lago. This is an article from The Independent by Tara Cobham. Nigel Farage failed to meet with Donald Trump despite flying all the way to Florida to dine at the US president's Mar-a-Lago resort. The Reform UK leader told an audience at Westminster event on Thursday night that he would be dining at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow night, where he would reinforce the message about Sir Keir Starmer's beleaguered Chagos Islands deal, leading to assumptions that he would be dining with the US president. But in a humiliating development, he flew around 4,500 miles and never actually met Mr. Trump during his visit. That's hilarious. Imagine flying all that way to meet Daddy Trump, only to get snubbed, only to find out that he can't meet with him after all. That's hilarious. The Financial Times reported that Mr. Farage had not even received a formal invitation to meet the American president, having only been invited to Mar-a-Lago by a member of the club. So he didn't even get an invitation from Donald Trump. He must have just been hoping that he would be there. He probably just turned up to Mar-a-Lago on the off chance that Donald Trump was going to be there, and he was going to be able to meet with him and have a meeting with him. But when he got there, he found no, Donald Trump wasn't there, so he couldn't meet with him. That's embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. But Mr. Trump ended up staying in Doral, according to the newspaper, leaving Mr. Farage more than an hour's drive away in Mar-a-Lago at a loose end. That's hilarious. The Clacton MP's failure to secure an audience for the American leader is the latest indication that the famously close relationship between the two politicians is cooling off. The pair formed a bond before and after 2016, the year when Mr. Trump's first term began and the UK voted for Brexit. However, a representative for Mr. Farage told The Independent he had never planned on meeting Mr. Trump during his visit and never said he was planning to. Yeah, right. This is just Nigel Farage trying to save face here. This is embarrassing. This is really embarrassing. Mr. Trump has dramatically U-turned on his support for Sir Keir's controversial Chagos Islands agreement in recent weeks, at one point describing it as an act of great stupidity. Since then, ministers have said that discussions over handing the islands to Mauritius are continuing, with the government insisting the deal is necessary to secure the future of the crucial UK-US Diego Garcia military base. Mr. Farage, who has long opposed the Chagos deal and dubbed it a surrender treaty, told an event in Westminster on Thursday that he would discuss it at Mr. Trump's estate in Florida. So he did go there thinking that he was going to meet with Donald Trump. But Donald Trump snubbed him. Donald Trump wasn't there. How embarrassing. That is really embarrassing. For goodness sake. We think this is the central plan for this government's foreign policy, and we are beating them back, Mr. Farage said, according to GB News. President Trump has almost understood the deal, but I will be dining at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow night, and we will reinforce the message. Oh dear, this is embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed, Nigel? Really? Fancy getting snubbed by Donald Trump. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Oh, we've got purple rhymes with orange in the chat. Greetings, sentient beings. He says, she says, they are always planning to, but we never get to see the plan. Because he didn't pay him a bribe. He would have needed to send him at least $2 million in advance for Trump to show up. Yes. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right, Purple. Yeah. There's so much I wanted to talk about, but I don't think we're going to get through it all in all fairness. So let's see what else we can talk about. There's just two more stories I want to share with you guys before I call it a night, actually. Okay. Greens' most popular party among voters under 65. This is from Novara Media by Joshua Carroll. Apparently, they're leading by 6 points. This actually gives me hope for the future. This is really good. The Green Party is the most popular among all UK voters under the age of 65. New polling from YouGov shows. Zach Polanski's party was polling at 26%, 6 points ahead of Reform UK, among 18 to 64-year-olds surveyed by the pollster at the beginning of March, while Labour was on 17%. The poll of 2,073 adults was conducted following the Greens' historic by-election win in Gorton and Denton. It put the Greens in second place among voters of all ages, just 2 points behind Reform. Among voters over 65, the Greens polled at only 6%, while Reform was by far the most popular party at 33%. Demographic and legal changes before the next election, which will happen no later than August 2029, could further tip the odds in favour of the Greens. Legislation is to allow people to vote from the age of 16 at the next general election has started its journey through Parliament. See, this is it. This is it. You see, this poll takes 18-year-olds into account, 18 to 64-year-olds into account, but it doesn't take into account 16 and 17-year-olds. So I think the next general election is going to be very interesting. Because I think that 16 and 17-year-olds are more clued up about politics than we sometimes give them credit for. And I've got a feeling that most 16 and 17-year-olds are going to vote for the Green Party because they are very clued up. They tend to be left-leaning in their political views. They tend to be pro-LGBTQ+, pro-trans, and anti-genocide. So I have got a feeling that they will vote for the Green Party, or maybe even your party. But we'll see. It's going to be very interesting, and it gives me hope for the future. There is a part of me that thinks that the Reform UK could still win, because it tends to be the older generation, the boomers, and when my generation, the X generation, who turn up to vote, whereas younger people don't tend to, although they vote in they vote in opinion polls, they don't actually tend to vote, to turn up to vote on the day. But I'm hoping that will change. And what also gives me hope is that apparently the honeymoon of Reform UK seems to be coming to an end. They seem to be going down in the polls, in the opinion polls, whereas the Green Party seem to be consistently rising in the opinion polls, and a lot can happen in 3 years. So I am hopeful. I am hopeful that the Green Party will make a lot of headway in the general election. They could well win many more seats, maybe up to 40, maybe even 50 more seats. In the next general election, they could even win it. But we'll have to keep an eye on things. We'll have to wait and see. But watch this space, as they say. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Moving on. This is hilarious. This is from The Poke. Sarah Poaching embraced the spirit of Thatcher to troll Keir Starmer and was magnificently owned into next week. This is an article in The Poke by John Plunkett. Nigel Farage's Reform UK is predictably unhappy that Keir Starmer didn't immediately drop everything, bombs mostly, to join Donald Trump's war on Iran. And Reform UK MP Sarah Poaching, you remember, embraced the spirit of Margaret Thatcher to troll the Prime Minister on Twitter, suggesting the late Prime Minister would never have hesitated to climb into bed with Trump. She said this in her tweet: Maggie would never have hesitated in allowing our American allies to use our bases. And she posted a photo of Margaret Thatcher with Reagan, with Ronald Reagan. And so some of the replies to this tweet are just brilliant. Jim Royal said this: when Argentina invaded the Falklands, she asked for help from the USA and they refused. Isabel Oakenshit said Reagan disrespected her and Britain when he invaded Grenada without telling her. Trump didn't tell Starmer or our other allies. She roasted him. Yet again, another reform person seeks to use her for their own ends. You are a mouse in a maze and not even in the shadow cabinet. Michael Murphy tweeted this: Reagan blindsided Thatcher over the US invasion of the Commonwealth Island of Grenada in 1983, giving her less than 12 hours notice of the attack. Thatcher responded in the strongest language, telling Reagan in a late-night cable she was deeply disturbed. Man on the Moon tweeted, warmonger and American lapdog. The sacrifice of British lives is a lot easier to demand when it's someone else's sons and daughters on the line, isn't it? Therberus simply tweeted, thankfully, she's dead. Chris Formagia, replying to Sarah Poaching's tweet, said, you ignoramus. Thatcher completely objected to the US invasion of Commonwealth Grenada in 1983 and protested it vehemently. She warned Reagan that it would appear like Western colonialism, and she told him that the invasion would have serious and damaging consequences. The Purple Pimpernel tweeted, Maggie would not have hesitated to call Nigel Farage a lying, corrupt, treacherous C-word either, I'll wager. Alongside Cole and Mitterrand, she was the architect of the single market. Who do you work for, Sarah? Yeah, good question. Who does she work for? Mark Sedone tweeted, my dear Sarah, for all her faults, Maggie repeatedly called out Israel and the US. She implemented an arms embargo, criticized settlement expansion, and supported Palestinian self-determination, often clashing with the US. She would have told Trump no. Political X tweeted, you moron. The US stayed neutral during the Falklands. And Tahaki the Penguin God tweeted, nonsense. Reagan refused to help Maggie in the Falklands and remained neutral apart from a few bits of back-channel intelligence. Then the following year, he invaded the British Commonwealth country of Grenada without even notifying her. So, yeah, Sarah Poaching got hilariously owned into next week. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. You love to see it. Purple says, I have to keep my translator on. In the US, Green Party isn't a major party. They will never win any federal office, but they do sometimes manage to get in the Minnesota state legislature. She also says the Green Party here also often get a couple of city council seats. Yeah. I think it's it's gonna. I don't think it's going to be in our lifetime that we'll see a third party make major headway in the United States. Unfortunately, it's gonna take it could take a couple of generations before the two-party system in the United States is broken, sadly. But yeah, it's just one of it's it is what it is, I suppose. And but that said, that's the end of another show. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to all of those who have watched after the fact, because I know a lot of people do, even though they don't watch live, they do watch watch it afterwards. So thank you for watching, and if you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another show. Okay, bye for now.